All right, and we are live. Oh, just got done with a bike ride. Got to get ready for training. Hockey's going to be coming soon. So got to get ready. Just a few takes here this morning. Good morning, everyone. It is Puka. Going to talk a little bit about Young Money at Port Royal. Done a pretty good job there. Big week in northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin for Wissota. We got, the specials are starting. We're getting into that great time of season. Throw me your questions while we're going here. The One to Go show was up. Sorry, we got the show up late the last couple of weeks. We had the computer that we used for editing burnt out, and we thought we could get it fixed. They told us we could get it fixed, and it wasn't able to get fixed. We had to get a new one, get the software downloaded. So we've gotten up just a little bit late the last couple weeks, but we should get back on schedule here this week. And then we're going to have a big show a week from Monday because we'll be recapping everything we're about to talk about here. All right, before we get going, just want to thank our friends, Dirt Track Supply, Watertown, South Dakota, dirttracksupply.com. Whether it's Bell products or K&N products or Simpson products, they got you covered. And of course, they're the home of the Aero chassis. Now, I know this time of year, a lot of racers start thinking about their plans for next year. We're kind of on the final leg of the season, kind of in the last quarter, if you will, of the season. And I know how racers start thinking. This is when if you're talking to them, they say, well, I'm thinking about doing this or I'm thinking about doing that. And a lot of that conversation will oftentimes involve chassis. So give Trevor a call down at Dirt Track Supply, see what they're doing with that Aero chassis, and just as part of your experiment there, give them a shot. And then also our friends at Wehr's Machine, W-E-H-R-S, Wehr's Machine. They got all kinds of widgets, all kinds of, I think they call it billet trickery. They got all kinds of parts. As we talked about before, panhard bars, wheel spacers, frame mounts. They have all kinds of products down there at Wehr's Machine. So tell Chad, tell Trevor that you heard about them on the One to Go show and thank them for supporting the One to Go show. So, but speaking of the One to Go show, like I said, we're posted, and some of the numbers are coming in, looking pretty good in that Watertown, Huron, Aberdeen area. North Dakota, a little, okay. Fargo, Grand Forks, sprint car country. I don't know what you guys are watching over there. St. Cloud down through the Twin Cities, pretty good. Real strong, that Eau Claire, Menominee, a strong racing area, a lot of strong racing traditions down there. Rochester, Owatonna, Mankato, a little weak there. What are you guys doing down there? Following Maverick football? Are they even playing this year? What's going on down there? So a little bit weaker there. I think we could do a little bit better. Lacrosse, pretty good with MTS in that area. Winona. Northern, the northern part of Wisconsin, eastern Wisconsin's good. Bert does a good job there with Outagamie, Seymour, Antigo, Shawano, that area, Plymouth, strong. Northern Twin Ports, Duluth Superior is good. Iron Range, good. But southern Minnesota's where I think we could pick up just a little bit. But I know many of you, have liked. We've asked you to like or subscribe or share the show. Give us a thumbs up, that kind of thing. That's just how this game works. If you can write a review, like on the podcast part, so it's the One to Go show. We got the podcast. You can write a review. We've got the YouTube channel. We've got the Facebook, The One to Go show, where you'd search that. We also have TikTok, but that isn't real important as far as getting actual newsy information out there. That's just kind of some more fun clips. But we do want to thank you. We do appreciate all of you that have taken the time, like I said, to like, subscribe, and do that kind of thing. So wanted to get that out there. So Young Money. Well, before we get into Young Money, let me just say, might head down to Ogilvy tonight. They've got the late models. A little bit of a special now. If any of you from Ogilvy are watching, I sent an email yesterday, had some questions, haven't heard back. Promoters, if you're going to put an email out there, please check the email. Now, I sent it about 24 hours ago. And, if you send one on Monday or Tuesday, you don't necessarily expect a response right away. But, geez, I sent it on Friday. You're racing, so we still got some time. Maybe I could check it after this and see where we're at. But I was just a little bit disappointed I hadn't heard. If I'm going to go, I've got to bring somebody that's going to need to be indoors with a booth. And that was kind of my question. So if somebody from Ogilvy is watching right now, Puka sent you an email. Please get me an answer if you can. All right, Young Money. Talked a little bit about Young Money on one of the vlogs. Talked about Young Money on one of the shows. And I said that I thought that he would do pretty well, especially if the track slicked off. Now, the track did have some black to it. Now, the guy's raced fenders before. You know, everyone thinks of him as this wing sprint guy. I mean, he's obviously raced NASCAR, and he races a lot of USAC midget. But we saw what he did back in June during Indiana Sprint Week. Those were non-winged. And they had the big tire and everything, but they're non-winged. So I'm not as surprised, I think, as many with how well he did. I mean, he just spanked JD, Jonathan Davenport, in that heat race. And he was running second for most of the feature. And he pushed pretty hard into the corner there on corner 4 and ended up, I believe, 4th. I believe it was ended up being T-Mac, Owens, Chris Ferguson. Now, Chris Ferguson has run pretty well in that Bloomquist car. You know, I think he's probably run the best. I mean, Bloomquist, he's completely out to lunch. Madding's gone. Ricky just continues a slow kind of decline. And I don't think Dale McDowell's raced enough to really get a good sample size, but Fergie's been hitting most of those Lucas shows, especially on that side of the country in the out east, although he did get all the way out to I-80. So Fergie looks, you know, he's pretty impressive. He's been pretty consistent in that Bloomquist car there. So we'll see. Port Royal rained out last night on Friday, and so they will be hitched up here to go hopefully tonight. I don't know if they're going to try and run that feature tonight, do like a double feature thing. I haven't seen anything there, but the O show, Owens, the Young Money, Kyle Larson, keep an eye on him. And for those of you in dirt drafts and stuff, don't underestimate him. Now, I think he's supposed to run. They're talking about him running at the World Finals down in Charlotte in November, so keep an eye out for him. And remember, keep this all in mind if you're going to be doing dirt drafts for that program also. All right, now, closer to home. Like I said, we got Ogilvy tonight, and we start a big weekend racing up north. Now, normally the Silver 1000 kicks off the Labor Day weekend up here in northern Minnesota. That's a track in Proctor, Minnesota, just outside of the Duluth Superior area. Due to COVID, they've had to cancel, so nearby Ashland, Wisconsin, they have a special Red Clay Classic, so they're running a little special Thursday night called Prelude to the Clay, $3,500 to win for the lates. Pretty impressive. And then they will move Thursday up to Grand Rapids, Minnesota, where we have the Wissota Classic. Now, the Wissota Classic, I don't have a ton of memories as far as that special. I know it started in 95, and I don't think it was real special at first. I think all they were trying to do was piggyback on the Labor Day Shootout for a while. I don't think they really had an increased pay. I think it was just more like a regular night, and they raced on Friday nights back then anyway. But then I know about mid-2000s, they brought in the lates, but I think they're only paying like $600-700 if I remember right. So you'd get some guys to go, you know, if they drew well, they kind of raced. If they, you know, they don't really want to damage things for the shootout, but if they got a good draw, they'd race a little bit. A lot of guys would pull off. And I know Jeff Broking around, I don't know, mid-2000 or so when he was in a late model. Sorry, I got to recuperate from this bike ride. Jeff Broking, local guy, was kind of a popular winner. I don't know, 05, 06, maybe 07, he won. And then somewhere along the line, I don't know if it was with the 08 recession, they kind of made it a regular show again. Now, remember about 09, 10, 11, they ran that Thunder in the Pines the weekend of Menominee and Jamestown. So I think they just kind of went kind of back to that just regular night kind of thing on that Friday. I'm just trying to think. And there's just not a lot of history out there. So, or maybe they had it a special there too. I just can't seem to remember that Friday night if they did. But I know that I've been living in Grand Rapids since 2015. And 15 and 16, it was just a regular show. There was nothing special about it, so they didn't attract a lot of attention. But then they brought on the Challenge Series starting in 2017. Unfortunately, rained out in 17, rained out in 18, got the show in 19, and it was a good show. They, drew a good field of late models. I know even Stevie Larson told Ryan Aho, who's one of my partners on the One to Go show and who helps out with the track, said, geez, if I would have known the track was this good all year, I probably would have come up here and raced more. So the track was good last year. And So let's, hope for some success. Now, speaking of success, this year, Grand Rapids had 5 modifieds on Thursday night, which wrapped up their regular season, their season points night. Now, they've got an issue there. The mod numbers have been bad all year. It's going to be interesting to see how the numbers come together on Friday night at the Classic. A few years ago, those Renegade Sprints came, and they had, 4, 5, 6 cars to start with, and everyone kind of laughed at them, thought it was, kind of like a joke. Well, now they've got 18. So, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of too late to make changes now, but to me, I'd be racing the sprints. I don't know if I'd be racing the mods. And next year, they're going to have to be thinking about not just the Classic, but what are they going to do during the year? Are they going to race the mods once in a while and race the sprints more consistently? Even the late model. I mean, the late models and sprints are getting a lot more cars than the mods. Are the mods even worth having? Now, I know some of the management likes mods, and they're involved in mods, but this is a business. They need to they got to kind of show the county that they're doing something for the community. I don't know if 5, 6, 8 cars a class is really going to fit the bill there. So they've got some problems to kind of go through over the winter here and try and resolve. All right, now Ryan Aho and I, like I said, my partner on the show, we're going to go through some of the Labor Day memories and stories. So I'm going to kind of give you my Classic, kind of what I know. Like I said, there's not a lot of history on the Classic. Silver 1000, just some of my memories. Now, this would have been the 48th annual. Now, if I am correct, the Silver 1000, the World 100 have been run. They're the longest running specials at the same track. This would have been the 48th annual World. This would have been the 48th annual Silver. They're both canceled. But as far as consistently running, so I don't know how they're going to count this for next year. They're going to have to come up with that. Or especially like the World, because they're technically having a race, but it's not the World, although it is the World, essentially. So, but the longest running 48th annual every year at the same track, the World and the Silver. So that's a pretty cool thing. Now, the Silver 1000 used to be paid, and you used to get a bag of silver dollars for the win, $1,000. And just some of my memories, lap money has always been a thing at the Silver 1000, where you don't see that a lot of races, especially not anymore. But that's always been a special that's been consistent as far as lap money. I remember back in 92 or 93 when Lee Clemenhagen came down the front stretch in a ball of flames. Many of you remember that. Just coasted past the flag stand, and the tow truck ran out, rushed out with the fire extinguisher. 1996, Rick Auckland showed up in that 44 that he was driving inconsistently back at that time. Many of you may remember that. I think that race was actually played during COVID, during the shutdown. I think I saw it somewhere on Facebook, but Harry Hansen was on the pole. Auckland started, I think, outside pole or second row out, and Harry took off to a lead, and about 5, 6 laps in, once the tires heated up for Auckland, just blew past Harry, but there's a caution. So they go back a lap, and Auckland's back again. Same thing, green flag drops. Harry's just wheeling it on the bottom, and then Auckland just, like I said, once the tires heat up, just blows past Harry and was a big win. Now, more locally, back in 05, our son was born in Montana. We were living in Montana at the time. We come back, wanted to catch the race and the whole race weekend. And we get on there, and it's a weird night. It's very cold. Wind's coming off the lake, so the track is very dry. It just looked sandy. I remember Mitch Johnson getting last. And the thing about Mitch that night is Mitch was in a Schwartz car. That's probably the last guy I remember in a Charlie Schwartz late model. And if I remember right, he had his car that was not the traditional red. It was either like a blue with a yellow number, or maybe it was a green car, but it was not what you would remember Mitch as. And his performance was not what you remember Mitch as, because I believe he got dead last in the heat. He didn't make it through the B, and he's a past champion of that race. But pretty much a train up on top. Kelly Esty was actually racing for Bobby Reed in his late model that time. And Kelly had a great lead, took off. They were up on the top. Nice strip of black up there. And then there was a caution. And I remember during the caution, Jeff Provenzino he had that orange car then, took a little peek. He was doing some parade laps down on the bottom. When they go back to green, he goes on the bottom. He sets a pace. I mean, he just, as a matter of fact, Kelly actually pushed, I think, over corner 2. And Provenzino got by, and I think that was his first of maybe 4 Silver 1000 wins. So those are kind of some of my memories. And I do want to thank Troy Powers. Many of you know Dr. Troy Powers. He has done a lot for Superior Speedway. He's done a lot for Proctor. He's really done a lot for the Silver 1000. I know his son Jonathan's helping now too. He's done a lot to help get the lap money together. He's got a lot of the statistics about the history of the Silver 1000. So I just want to take some time to thank Doc for everything you've done for the Silver and keeping it going, Doc. It's really great. And I'm just thankful, too, now that I'm thinking about it, about just, think about where we were 100 days ago or 120 days ago with all this COVID and shutdown. I mean, it looks for right now, let's knock on wood, that we're going to get these specials in. Obviously, the kids go back to school in about 10 days. So I don't know if we're going to see an increase in cases, and then obviously government might make some decisions. But for right now, knock on wood, we're going to see the specials and get them in. Or at least this first leg, which is in an area close to me. I don't have to travel much. I can get these specials in right here in northern Wisconsin and northern Minnesota. So, again, thankful. So with that, I think I'm going to get rolling on a Saturday. Again, I just want to thank Dirt Track Supply, dirttracksupply.com. I want to thank Chad and everybody down there at Wehr's Machine, WEHRS, wehrsmachine.com. Like I said, if you happen to talk to them, let them know that you're thankful that they are supporting us and everything we're doing, and we will catch you all on the next video. Have a good weekend, everyone.